So that was my trip to the Immigrant Wilderness in California with my friend Palm Circle Pete. We kind of did a collab. He's got his own YouTube channel. You should check it out. He does fly fishing in California. So if you're into that kind of thing, he's got a pretty good channel. So yeah, I'll be taking you through our trip, going through the map, and giving some details. So Immigrant Wilderness is here in California, just in the Sierras, right above Yosemite National Park. It's a really nice area because it's kind of not as well known as Yosemite, and most people who are going hiking, backpacking are going to end up going to Yosemite. So there's not as many people, not as populated. Trails are a little nicer. So to get to Immigrant, you go up Highway 108, and there's a couple different trailheads to get there. There's an area called Crabtree Trailhead just over here. Pinecrest is over here, pretty popular ski area. We ended up going out of this area called Coyote Meadows Trailhead, which is a really kind of tricky trailhead to get to, and I'll show you why. So the turnoff is going to be right over here around Cow Creek, just right over here. It's going to take you up some really nasty service roads full of potholes, just not super well maintained. So I would just make sure you take a car that doesn't have really low clearance, like a Camry or something like that, and make sure it maybe has all-wheel drive, because the roads can be kind of gnarly, really rough to get up. And yeah, we turned off and it took about 30 minutes to get to the trailhead from the turnoff from the highway. So we ended up camping here at Coyote Meadows the night before, just so we could get an early start in the morning. So when we woke up that morning, there was crazy amount of bugs. The mosquitoes this time of year that we went, which was around late June, early July, the mosquitoes are really rough. So I just say, I'm not a really big fan of bug spray or bug dope. I used to live in Alaska where the bugs are really bad if you've ever been up there. And this one time when I put 100% DEET on myself, a little bit got on my gear, onto my clothes, and it melted right off. And after that I thought, I probably shouldn't be putting this stuff on my skin. But if I had had a little bit of DEET, I would have probably been tempted to use it in this situation. You'll probably tell from the footage, Pete and I used some head nets. If you have those, they can help kind of get the bugs from flying into your eyes and everything. But yeah, there's some other options for organic or natural bug sprays out there. I don't know how well they work. I've never tried them. But this would be a situation where maybe I would just have an extra can of bug spray just in case. This trail right here, it's really cool because it's going to go across 5 different meadows to get to Toejam Lake, which was our destination. Toejam Lake is just over here. It's an alpine lake. It's about 8.5 miles from Coyote Meadows to Toejam, and then 8.5 back. So about a 17-mile round trip. The elevation gain isn't too crazy. It's around 2,000 feet in total over those 2 days. You're going to cross 5 different meadows. First, you're going to go over Coyote Meadow, which is right at the trailhead. You'll enter into Emigrant Wilderness, and the first big one you're going to hit is Horse and Cow Meadow. Really pretty because you get some good views of these granite cliffs over here, and then you also get the nice rocky peaks on this side. Once you pass this meadow, you're going to dip down and enter into Cooper Meadow. There's an intersection right here, and there's some really cool like log cabins over here. It's blocked off because I think it's private, and it's mostly used by like the cowboys that are running cattle through Immigrant Wilderness. There's another intersection up here, which is going to end up taking you up to Eagle Pass if you head this way, but you're going to take the right. Cooper Meadows got some really cool views because you get the Castle Rock up here, which is really cool looking, and then you can also get a good view of the Immigrant Wilderness from that section. Yeah, and then you'll head uphill again, hit Hay Meadow right here. Also, just some really nice views, really good wildflowers and everything. There's a trail that kind of branches off from the main trail, and if you're not careful, it's going to take you all the way up here, and you can probably see it right here. I think it's a horse trail. You're not going to want to go that way unless you want to just do some extra work. It's going to end up taking you to the same place right here. So just watch out for that, and make sure you're kind of keeping on this side. It's just kind of the easier way to go. Yeah, then it's going to take you to your last meadow over here, which is Whitesides Meadow, which is probably the biggest meadow you'll hit. Whiteside is going to have a really good kind of stream going through it right here. The problem with our trip was water was really hard to come by. We went in late June, and California's kind of in a drought right now, really dry, so water was really hard to come by. Usually these meadows have water flowing right through them and streams and everything, but yeah, the time we went, there were just kind of stagnant pools, no really good running water. So just keep that in mind, that like when you leave the trailhead, just make sure you have plenty of water before. And then if you need a good spot to stop, right here is just a pretty good spot for running water, at least when we went. Yeah, so then you're gonna kind of keep going. There's a couple more intersections, so just, you know, make sure you're taking the right directions. Make sure you got a map on you. And then right here at this intersection, you're gonna take the right, and it's gonna take you to Toejam Lake. You're gonna dip down for a little bit, and then it's going to take you all the way back up onto this plateau over here, and then you get to Toejam Lake. So Toejam is a really nice lake, especially for fishing. Yeah, so my friend Palm Circle Pete, he is a really big fan of this lake because of the fishing and how good it is. I think he caught like over 6 or 7 fish while we were there. It's also a really nice lake to kind of swim in. That's what I was doing. There's a little island right here with a big tree out of it. Really easy to get to, swim to, and then you can swim around, that kind of thing. Up here on this rock, you can kind of get a nice view if you wanted to hike up and get some good views of kind of the mountains and everything. If you wanted like another little couple miles, if you wanted to take another like mile and a half, if you wanted to take like another mile trip, Leopold Lake is just over here. It's also got some pretty nice fishing, and you get some nice views. If you wanted to come out over here, you can get some really good views of this valley down here, and then Gem Lake over here. So yeah, when we got to the lake, we kind of set up camp, and there was a really big thunderstorm that rolled in. You probably saw from the footage. We'd seen the storm kind of brewing all day. I looked up the weather before, and it said thunderstorms in the afternoon. So we hit the trail around 6 o'clock, and that's just something to kind of keep in mind when you're hiking through the mountains like this, because thunderstorms can hit kind of at any time. So just kind of be watching for when those clouds start to kind of really come together and turn really dark. As soon as you hear thunder, you kind of want to start setting up some kind of shelter or something. You really want to hunker down. Just be careful. Thunderstorms can be kind of dangerous up at these high elevations. You want to stay away from really tall trees. You want to stay away from open clearings, and you want to just make sure the lowest thing around, just to lower your chances of being hit. Keep like hiking poles, trekking poles kind of down or out of the way. Always be kind of careful up in the mountains, because this thunderstorm that hit us lasted about 2 hours. Typically, they can last about 30 minutes to an hour, but this was a really long one, and some of these strikes were hitting pretty close to where we were camping. Pete actually had just gotten back from fishing, and we literally watched one hit this rock up here, and our camp was just down over here. So they were hitting kind of close, so just be really careful. And yeah, the next day we hiked out. Took about 5 hours. So it's a pretty nice intermediate trip, not too much elevation and not too many miles, and a pretty nice lake for if you're into fishing. Pretty nice lake to fish at or just chill at. And yeah, these meadows are just really pretty to hike through. That was a big draw for me. You can also get to Toejam Lake by going up. There's another trailhead over here called Gianelli, and you can kind of hike up this way, passing Y Meadows and around that way. It's another way to get there, and it's about the same amount of miles. But yeah, if this trail is of interest to you, I'm gonna just include the link below to this map so that you can download it. If you have All Trails Pro, you can download it onto your phone before you go. Just remember to always take a physical map with you just to be sure, and compass, those sorts of things always help, just in case you lose the trail or getting lost. The thing I like about All Trails Pro, when you download the map and you're hiking along, it keeps progress of where you are on the trail with your GPS, And so that way you can kind of tell like how many more miles you have left. I really like that kind of feature of it. I'm not trying to do an ad for it, but I really appreciated using it. This was the first time I really used it on a trail, and it was just nice to kind of tell, you know, we only have 3 more miles left. So I really liked that. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any good trails in the Immigrant Wilderness that you'd suggest, just leave a comment, let me know. And I hope you enjoyed it. Like and subscribe if you want to see some more. And I'll see you guys next time.